Welcome to SAT TV News. I am Alicia George. In our top stories, Dayton University students explore Dominica's engineering possibilities. Jamaican teenager charged with murder of 9-year-old. California gunman parents risk to stop him. And in sports, Carifta Games gold medalist honored. Details of these will follow.
The wheel of change is here at SAT. New and exciting rewards just for you. SAT customers, simply pay your bill and get the new Loyalty Plus plan for free. That's 26 channels absolutely free for a limited period. Yes, you heard me, free. And if you do pay your bill, you'll have a chance to win big with SAT TV. Up to $15,000 in prizes are up for grabs. 7-inch tablets, BlackBerry smartphones, food vouchers, and much more. Offer ends July 1st. Get more from SAT TV, the people's choice. SAT terms and conditions apply.
Welcome back. This summer, a group of 4 engineering students from the University of Dayton, Ohio, will be on island for a 10-week internship. The students who arrived on Saturday will be attached to the Believers Multi-Purpose Cooperative and the cassava bread producers of the Kalinago territory. The initiative is part of the Dominica Manufacturers Association, DMA's collaborative linkages with the university's Ethos program, which provides a 10-week experience in developing countries for engineering students and some students from other units of the university.
Students had gone to India for some other program, really enjoyed it, and they saw that we could use our engineering skills in other areas of the world that aren't just big corporations in America. They saw that we could really learn more from going in other places, really learning about their culture, and seeing that engineering means something different in every country.
As part of their preparation, the students are required to take a course in appropriate technology. The course facilitates independent research on the technologies, cultural immersion guidelines, safety and health considerations, and practical experience. Speaking at the welcoming ceremony, Mrs. Gail Defoe, executive member of DMA, said that the challenge that exists is the ability to produce in volume. Production and not producing, she noted, is the differential factor between success and failure.
The majority of the equipment that is engineered for production are way beyond scale, not skill, but scale. And so we're constantly buying equipment that is far oversized sometimes for what we do produce. If we are to be in the 21st century in production, then we must mechanize. And we must be innovative in our mechanization, which is where I think you're going to lend us a very big hand.
The group of students consists of 3 chemical and 1 business engineer. Minister for Environment and Natural Resources, Physical Planning and Fisheries, Dr. Kenneth Daru, has revealed that Dominica is facing a major challenge with illegal fishing activity from the French islands. He made the statement while speaking at the opening ceremony of the 8th meeting of the Caribbean Fisheries Forum on Friday, May 23, 2014. Dr. Daru stated the fishery resources of the region make a significant contribution to food and nutrition security, generation of income, and employment.
It is also well known that the fisheries sector faces tremendous challenges to achieving sustainable fisheries resource management. Among these challenges are combating illegal, unreported, and unregulated fishing, addressing the need for adaptation to and mitigation for climate change in the sector, implementing appropriate measures to ensure sustained harvesting and conservation of our fishing resource, protection of the marine ecosystem from all forms of degradation, pollution, and invasive species, to name a few.
He noted Dominica's problem with the French as it relates to illegal fishing has on some occasions escalated to heated proportions, while adding that similar situations occur in the Bahamas and Jamaica. There are also scarce resources to implement adequate monitoring and surveillance systems to combat this problem, he added. Dr. Daru said the government will be writing to the French authorities to meet at a technical level.
Globally, we have noticed a rush to fish taking place, accompanied by a lack of responsible behavior in the fisheries sector. This type of deviant behavior has resulted in severe decline in some major fisheries of the world and collapse in some others. Our region is constantly threatened by pressure groups under various international trade regimes to lock away critical fishery resources with far-reaching social and economic implications for our states. We must therefore take the necessary steps within our powers to support international and regional actions to prevent, deter, and eliminate illegal, unreported, and unregulated fishing.
He added they must echo the call for greater collaborative efforts to address all the factors that contribute to the growing rates of decline in our marine ecosystems, health, and fish population. Dominica is one of 19 countries in the Pacific and Caribbean zones that the European Union (EU) has lifted visa requirements for amid growing frustration in Turkey, which has been waiting for years to acquire the right to visa-free travel to member countries. Turkey signed a long-anticipated agreement with the EU late last year, refreshing hopes for new momentum in stalled bilateral relations between Ankara and Brussels. The EU Council adopted a regulation amending the regulation for countries whose nationals must be in possession of visas when crossing the external borders and those whose nationals are exempt from that requirement. This exemption will come into force only when bilateral agreements on visa waivers between the Union and the countries concerned have been concluded in order to ensure full interchange. The landmark agreement paves the way for EU governments to send back illegal immigrants crossing into Europe from Turkey in exchange for talks on visa-free travel for citizens of the country, which is a candidate for full membership. Nuvre Durham, 27 years of Margat, has been charged with arson of the dwelling house of Mal Plenderliff of Melville on May 23, 2014. He appeared before a Portsmouth magistrate on May 26, where he was remanded in custody and is to return in 1 week for bail review. Meanwhile, another man is presently being sought in connection with the arson. Sometime in the early hours of Friday, May 23, 2014, the dwelling house of Mal Plenderliff of Melville Hall was completely destroyed by fire. It was reported that Shane Andrew was the only occupant of the house at the time when two individuals armed with cutlasses entered the house. They tied and beat Shan, then spread a flammable liquid in the house and lit the house ablaze. Organic farming may just be the cure to fight the black sigatoka disease. This is according to Catherine Ormond, Secretary of the Dominica Organic Agriculture Movement, DOME.
Personally, I feel that we could even take care of the black seed atoka using organic methods. Good field practices would take care of that. I am very positive about that. I would not recant on that one. You do your clean field, you keep your field clean.
Ormond believes that a little tender love and care, and of course proper organic farming practices, can stop the spread and maybe even eradicate the banana disease. For years, DOME has focused on increasing the use of organic farming and healthy living, and on Wednesday, May 28th, along with the Food and Agriculture Organization, FAO, the group will host a members and stakeholders workshop to review and make recommendations to emphasize this goal. It is the opinion of the DOME representative that there is a distinct difference between naturally grown produce and those grown using fertilizers or boosters.
We have had several incidences where not only in Dominica but other countries where the agri-chemicals have done harm to the users, irrespective of the fact that they are told to use protective gear. I am also a member of WINFA, and I remember we went to St. Vincent and there we were shown the extent of damage that can be done to an individual person who has used certain chemicals.
Ormond also pointed out the distinct taste and texture of organically grown foods. She encourages young people in particular to engage in organic farming and stress that persons dispel the myth that all organic produce are small. The workshop will be held at the Prevost Cinema Conference Room from 8:30 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. When we return, more stories.
The wheel of change is here at SAS. New and exciting rewards just for you. SAS customers simply pay your bill and get the new Loyalty Plus plan for free. That's 26 channels absolutely free for a limited period. Yes, you heard me, free. And if you do pay your bill, you'll have a chance to win big with SAT TV. Up to $15,000 in prizes are up for grabs. 7-inch tablets, BlackBerry smartphones, food vouchers, and much, much more. Offer ends July 1st. Get more from SAT TV, the people's choice. SAT terms and conditions apply.
Storms, floods, and droughts in the Caribbean how climate change may impact our economies and society. This is the topic of the May 29th UWI Open Campus Dominica and the National Bank of Dominica Limited 7th Annual NBD UWI Open Campus National Distinguished Lecture Series. A lecture, which will be hosted at the Fort Young Hotel, is free and open to everyone, according to Kimon Joseph, Marketing Outreach Officer at UWI Open Campus.
The session is open to the public, it's free, and we encourage people to come and listen to this expert who will speak about his research and what he has discovered in terms of the Caribbean and climate change. We expect people to be able to engage the researchers after the presentation is done and to be able to have meaningful discussions about topics that affect them as Caribbean people.
This year, Dr. Matthew Wilson, head of the Department of Geography at UWI St. Augustine, will present the topic.
Dr. Wilson will be focusing on the impact of climate change and how severe weather pattern changes have been impacting not only our lives but our economies as well.
Wilson is an expert in climate change and the study of floods and its impact on the Caribbean. The lecture will begin at 7:30 p.m. The Dominica Hotel and Tourism Association, DHTA, is inviting all tourism stakeholders and the general public to the National Tourism Cocktail on Saturday, 14th June 2014 at Port Shirley Cabrit from 5 p.m. to 12 a.m. The National Tourism Cocktail is described as a perfect atmosphere for businesses to gain exposure within the tourism industry in Dominica. Into its 6th year, the DHTA's goal is to improve on the success of each subsequent event. The national event is not only a trade show, but will present the opportunity for businesses to showcase products and services and for suppliers to meet people active in the tourism industry. To assist participants and or sponsors in marketing their products and services and to realize maximum benefit, the DHTA will host a workshop on Tuesday, June 3, 2014 at the Fort Young Hotel's conference room from 2 p.m. to 4:30 p.m. Tickets for the National Tourism Cocktail can be purchased at the DHTA's office on 17 Castle Street in Roseau at easy $50 each, which includes drinks, tapas, giveaways, and free round-trip transportation from Roseau. Thousands of young persons across Dominica gathered at the St. Joseph Playing Field on Sunday, May 25, 2014 to voice their views and opinions on what the country should be like. During a rally organized by the United Workers' Party's UWP youth arm, young and old alike came out to promote change and what change should be.
We refuse to believe that we are being done a favor by the government and when the government provides services which they are being paid for. But here in Dominica and in all of the constituencies on the team Dominica, we believe that women have rights too.
We are struggling for fresh air. Dominica needs to be nebulized.
The only rate unemployment we've had over the past few years comes from a census report of 2009 showing an unemployment rate of just over 11%.
Les vin là-bas, ils sont là, pas les vieux, la semaine prochaine. Après, ils sont là, il a fini. Mon gars, il paye autobilement, mon gars, mon gars, il de $20, les $50. Qui sont nos pays? $60, les $100 bill. Et mon abandon, juste pour pas couper. Vous voyez comment mettez, juste pour pas couper, pas mal, oui. Vous voyez, pays à belle. Attendez, pas de treasury. Treasury, bon, parce que poche, bon. But treasury, Dominique, pas bon, non? Il va aller travailler.
We vote against that $27 million palace, which could have been used to build a state-of-the-art hospital where our children and our children could receive better health care.
We have to vote in large numbers.
Education, job opportunity, and good governance were some of the other issues raised at the event. And then court news. Shane Suki Edwards of Bellevue-Chopin, with 25 previous convictions, said he was provoked into attacking a man who asked for a sexual favor in return for money. For this, he will spend the next 18 months in prison. Edwards was charged with battery and wounding on a male adult of Fields Lane and assault on that same adult with intent to rob him of a Nokia cell phone valued at $130 on May 19, 2014. He pleaded guilty to all 3 charges. The facts state that the victim was on his cell phone walking along Fields Lane in Roseau when Edwards came up to him and attacked him, attempting to take his cell phone. They engaged in a scuffle and Edwards got away. He reported the matter to police and Edwards was arrested. During mitigation in court on Friday, May 23, 2014, Edwards told Magistrate Bernard Parkett that he had approached the victim and asked him for a little change, considering they had known each other, but he was taken aback when the victim asked him to have sex with him in exchange for the money. He said he was feeling so ashamed that he had not even told that to police when he was arrested out of fear that they may laugh at him. Edwards, who was described as incorrigible by the magistrate, was sentenced to 6 months hard labor for battery and another 6 months for wounding to run concurrently. The assault with intent to rob charge was withdrawn. Edwards was additionally charged with battery on a prison officer and using insulting language by calling the officer a homosexual at the riverbank in Roseau on May 16, 2014. He pleaded guilty and was sentenced to 1 year in prison for battery on the officer to run consecutive with his previous sentence. There was no separate penalty for the insult charge. This has been the local segment of the news.